This is exactly what I mean by the circumstances just sort of closing in on you. At one moment, it actually starts raining pretty hard. The next moment, like right now, it's kind of stopped. But when it's like this, there's no way I can afford to relax. So when it gets calm like this and it slows down, oh, okay, no problem. I can take my time. No, I can't, because I don't know if it's going to start pouring within the next 2 minutes or not. Maybe it won't stop, won't keep raining at all. Maybe it'll stop, and I'll just make it through till morning. But I can't trust that when the weather's like this. All right, so I've been out gathering as many small twigs as I can. There's a fair bit of firewood around here, and that's one of the good things when I site check, when I check for a location to see if I want to survive there. One of my biggest concerns is looking around the entire area and saying, is there dry firewood in this spot? Is this wood that will burn quickly and catch quickly for me? Or is it all fresh and green? Or is it all damp and punky, rotted? And this is a case here where there's enough dry firewood that I can take advantage of it, and I can hopefully keep a fire going all night long. I've gotten pretty good over the years of knowing how much firewood I need to stay warm through the night. And it's always 5 times more than you think it's going to be. So let me pull out some of this stuff I've got here. So here's the birch bark that I originally found on the tree. And I think putting this right about here should be good. I don't want to burn the tarp, but I don't want it to get wet from the rain either. I have a bunch put in my pocket. Absolutely always want to have pockets. In a survival situation, having lots of pockets means gathering lots of items that can help me later. What do I got here? Oh, that's right. So just a small knife. More tinder. See what I did right there? That's usually a problem. You put your knife down on the ground, quickest way to lose it. Never ever put your knife down on the ground, ever. Even if it's fluorescent orange. You want to always put it back in your pocket or back in its sheath. I put it on the ground there, I start talking to you basically, and I lose my concentration. Next thing you know, I kick some leaves over it. Could be gone forever. Might not find it again. It's happened. It's probably happened to me 2 or 3 times, I'm sure. And that includes losing a hatchet and a machete. Now, those are big items, but you drop them in the dry leaves and they're brown and the leaves are brown, good luck finding it. Especially if you haven't eaten for 3 or 4 days. All right, so what do I want to get going here? Here's what I want to try. I brought with me my flint striker. And I've got a few options with it. These are the ones that have the magnesium stick. That I can use the magnesium, or I can just use the spark. And here's what it's going to kind of look like as I start. There we go. Okay, so that is a good spark. Here's the tinder fungus, I call it, that I got off the birch tree. If I'm lucky, it will capture the spark. But it might be a little damp. If it's not going to catch, I've got another way to get it to go. But let me try this way first. What I like to do is kind of break up the center of it a bit. Just get it a little bit dusty in there. And then let's see if it'll capture the spark here. Yeah, so I was a little bit fearful that this was going to be damp. Try this again. Try it another way. Sometimes if you lean right on it, it takes a while to get the feel for this. It's not as easy as it looks. It's all about the feel. Yeah, this one is damp, so let's do this. Just gonna add to it. This is right out of my own survival kit. Just a tiny little bit, tiny bit of cotton with a little tiny bit of wax. So I'm just gonna pull a piece of that off, not a lot. I don't have to use the whole thing up. Once you get good at this stuff, in terms of survival, you don't have to use a lot of big chunks of anything. You can do things with small portions, and then you're saving for later the rest of it, and that's always vital. So let's just see if I can get this going first. This should be no problem now because I know that this is going to catch. So let's see. There we go. Look at that. All right, so that's like a little candle. I'm gonna keep that there, but I've got my birch bark. First thing, remember that I got these in my hand. Kind of quickly, put them in my pocket so I don't drop them or lose them. Here comes the rain. Now I wanna slowly start adding on this tinder. Oh, look at that. See, now it's actually catching. That tinder fungus is now catching. Now that I got a little bit of flame to it. This is the place and time when people blow it, when they're trying to get a fire going in a survival situation. They get panicky and they start putting on branches and sticks and logs that are just too big. You want to start off real slow, real light, real small. And I'm not talking about even pencil sized, I'm talking about toothpick size. Start that way, just like this. Make sure I don't burn my tarp. Just start adding. Already I can feel a lot of intense heat bouncing off this rock. And that is the benefit of building a survival fire up against a rock. It's all about reflecting the heat back onto you all night long. I think I am going to make a success of this one. All right, that's looking pretty gold. You really need a solid flame before you start adding these big branches. Do it too soon, you put the fire out. The thing about this is not lighting a fire at the cottage or the cabin or for your fireplace. This is a survival fire. So you've got to break it down to the smallest and tiniest elements, have everything prepared ahead of time, move slowly and cautiously and carefully, and make sure you get that fire the first time, every time, using as little of your supplies as possible. That's a proper survival fire. Now, the next part of that is the surprising part for most people, because I don't say keep a small fire. In my world, once you've got that, if you've got a lot of tinder kicking around, and when I say tinder, I guess I mean firewood. If you've got a lot of firewood kicking around, get a big ass fire. You don't want a small fire, get a real big one. And that way, you don't have to work at staying warm. It's not gonna die on you if you fall asleep for 20 minutes. And in survival, you sleep for 20 minutes at a time when you're lucky. You do not get 3 or 4 hours of straight sleep. So you want a big fire that if you wake up again a little bit chilled, all the coals are there, all the embers are there, you can just feed it and keep it going. But if you're using only small twigs, keeping your fire small, guess what? You fall asleep, you wake up, it's cold, it's done. So I'm a fan of a big fire. And this is beauty. Okay. Even just during the course of getting this fire going, it started to rain and stopped 3 times. So I don't know what I'm going to get tonight. At this point, it's getting later in the day, the sun's setting. So I really want to watch this. I don't want to burn this tarp. You know what? I'm gonna act a little quick here. I didn't plan this part, but let me just put this pole up like that. There we go. Right now it's not raining, so I can afford to kind of put it up that high. I want to keep the flames off of it. I have seen people in survival practices burn down their shelter by having these flames catch the roof. And since this is an actual rain poncho, it's just going to be a melting glob of, I don't know, Gore-Tex, I guess. Anyway, this pole will keep it high and dry. And it's not raining too bad right now. So at this point, I know where I've got fresh water. It's not far from here. It's just a few hundred yards away, and I can go back to that stream and drink anytime I want. I know where there are some edible wilds, the yellow wood sorrel that I found in a swamp. That's also not that far back. I can make my way back to it. Because I've explored zone of assessment number 3, I know where these things are, and I can go back to them tomorrow. Meanwhile, I have my shelter here. I'm high, I'm away from the mosquitoes, I'm away from the swamp, and I'm out of the depression in the topography, so I'm not where the cold air is going to sink to. So this is a good place for tonight. It's getting a little bit late in the day to do anything other than just bring my mind and my body down, just to calm down. Because going out and hunting now would be tricky, so I'm going to wait till tomorrow morning. For now, I'm going to sit out this night. I think I'll do this the only way I know how. Oh yeah, See, that's the benefit. Now, I've got my fire, I've got my roof, so I can relax. And that's such an important part of survival, is learning how to just chill out. If you can't chill out and you panic, you mess yourself up, you get in a worse situation. You either get more lost, more panicked, or you injure yourself. Either way, that doesn't equal survival. Calming down, getting, believe it or not, relaxed will help survival. The best way for me to relax, as always, is this way. Here I am again, stuck in the middle of the forest for another night.